going to put into place all things around the world that are confusing us, because we've got Trump and Musk going at it again. What the hell? We've got the Diddy trial coming to an end. I mean, just so much has happened. Who knows what's going to what the outcome's going to be? And then Iran versus Israel. I personally, I think the ceasefire is just a reload, and it's all going to ignite again. But Lionel, where would you like to start, my friend? And thank you for coming on.
First, let's get the, if you could, the Elon thing up. I think we have, Elon's a bit of a nut. I don't know if it's true about his drug problems, or because you've heard this guy's. I mean, he's genius and blah blah blah, but he's petulant. He's just like Trump is. They're like babies. One minute they know exactly what's in the bill. Do you know what it takes, Shaun, for me to take these 900 pages, throw it into just some Chat GPT, run through it? By the way, have you heard of Chat GPT psychosis now? Check this out. It is we'll talk about it later. People are losing. They're actually thinking that Chat GPT is a person. Oh, it's wild. But anyway, so there's no reason for the smartest man in the world, supposedly, to all of a sudden say, hey, I don't like what they've got about EV. You never told me about that. You never told me that you'd be turning your back on the new. It's like, you didn't know this, schmuck? Come on. Somebody got their panties in a wad. Somebody didn't kiss the other arse enough.
Can you say boondoggling in that accent?
Boondoggle. That's my cousin, Boondoggle. I've doggled the boon many times, my friend. Now, there's a whole. It's funny. There's this. First, I got a little prefatory. I think they're all nuts. I love Trump, but he does some of the stupidest things. Listen, I have no choice. Remember, we have been dumped off at the world's worst buffet, and we haven't eaten in a week. And I'm not going to sit here and critique whether the lettuce is wilted. We're starving. I don't want to go back to this before. I'll take him as is. So I'm not looking to go. But some of the stuff that he brings up, Hiroshima and Nagasaki, don't bring that up. What are you talking about? Marco Rubio, Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. Who are the Hegseth? Is there anyone who impresses you other than Stephen Miller, who looks like this Donald? Check out a picture of Donald Pleasance. Remember the actor who from he's the only one I like because he's Tom Homan says, I'm not living with my wife anymore because of the threats. First of all, don't tell people you're threatened. And by the way, what a great way, if ever you were in the doghouse, so to speak, to say, I'm not staying with you, honey. Why? Threats. What? Listen, I'm going to be away from you now for like 6 months. I can't tell you where I am. Okay, but it's for your own good. Where the hell are you going? Just trust me. Where you going? You think about this. Where were you? I can't tell you. It's top secret. I mean, if you're the philandering type, which I'm not saying he is, but my God, what a racket that is.
They need someone like Sergey Lavrov. His demeanor is pretty cool.
Oh, the best. They never lose their mind, and they can compliment you. As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Attwood is very good with the KGB. He always shows the finest of makeup. He just called you a no good. I understand the pressure that he's under. The fact that I know that they're the best. They are just incredible. How about Zelensky? When does somebody just say go away? And I know what you were really into before. What you really want to talk about, the Jeff Bezos, that Lawrence Sanchez, that thing that he married. Have you ever seen something that was so hyped up that nobody cared about? Nobody. Even Meghan Markle and her stupid tea service is more interesting. Nobody cares. Nothing this woman does. He put her in a spaceship and nobody cared about that. Keep going. I know this has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but think about that. What it's like, nobody cares. You could pull a Buddhist monk, self-immolation. Nobody would care. You could disappear. Nobody would care. I mean, it was the most stupid wedding with the most stupid people. What are you looking at?
This.
Oh God! Just can you imagine the prenup she signed? I'll bet you her prenup is bigger than the big beautiful bill. 1,200 pages of. Oh dear. And he, honest to God, thinks he's cool. He thinks he is. He's the only billionaire. Say what you want, Tim Cook. Here's my new phone, and this phone, and you can think of it. Well, it's fantastic. And there's Elon. I want to have Neuralink, and I want to connect people. Everybody there, even Zuckerberg. He says, we're going to move. And then there's Bezos. Hey, Baba. Hey, he doesn't do anything for anybody. He's not interested in anything but himself and that thing he married, who looks like she's been through a windshield. She looks like she's got her face pressed up against glass. Imagine who are the plastic surgeons who say, listen, honey, I can't touch you anymore. I can't. On her lip, it says, inflate to 50 pounds. And if she gives you a hickey, you die. You imagine going to a doctor and looking at him and saying, doctor, can you make my wife look that thing there? Can you make her eyes all funny? Make them big old lips like wax lips like we bought when we was a kid? Yeah. God. And was there one person at that wedding, one person that you want to meet? Katy Perry, Orlando Bloom. What is this? The 80s? What are we talking? Who is this? Who would you invite? What did you invite? Like, think about this. If you were Jeff Bezos, what do you invite? The great Mearsheimer, Trump, maybe just Trump, not his family, him and his wife. Some people like some great blues singers, or it's just anybody who wants John Mearsheimer, or maybe the great Colonel McGregor. They'd be in my cabinet. But great people, scientists, Terrence Tao, the great mathematician, Ed Whitten, the great the Fields medalist. I would have, people that I respect. But the Kardashians, are you what? It's over with. They don't get it. Anyway, enough about me.
I'm just looking at some of the wedding pictures.
Oh, I haven't seen one. Swear to God, I haven't seen one. Don't even care. But the thing is, nobody cares. I think that Meghan Markle thing is more interesting. She's still there. And I don't know if you know about this one. Here's one for you. Did you ever know a woman we had in the States here, Tiffany Henyard? This was the woman. She was the mayor of this place called Dalton, Illinois. So help me God. She was incomprehensible. She makes John Lee Hooker sound like John Kenneth Galbraith, like Noel Coward. The most corrupt man, not even charged. Fannie Willis, remember her? This is the DA from nothing. They just nothing happens to these people. Nothing. The Hunter laptop, nothing. Fauci, nothing. Mayorkas, nothing. Nobody. Epstein, nothing. We have three judges who were charged with something. They were worthless. Nobody cares. They were some state judge. Nothing. Trump does nothing. And then you've got you. I mean, arrest somebody. Nobody.
Jane is asking, what is your prediction for the Diddy verdict?
Not guilty. I've been saying this. It's a dog. It's worse than. And you know how you can really tell? When Diddy said, that's it. No witnesses. We don't even have to put anything on. You want to go through that for a moment?
What basis do you have for saying not guilty then?
First, okay, imagine let me do the closing argument. This is about debauched, disgusting, vile, not criminal. The central argument is that this case was about moral disapproval of Sean Combs. Why they picked this guy for a federal case, I have no idea. It's not about anything about trafficking. In fact, it does a disservice to it. They're not going to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury's got to be convinced that while Diddy may be guilty of a lot of stuff, oh man, they played that Cassie video. That will come back to haunt them. The baby oil, the Tootsie Roll, all this stuff. It made a mockery of it. They proved vulgarity. They proved immorality. But he's not guilty of organizing. And listen to me, and I think you know something about this, Buster Brown. I think you know what I'm talking about. There was no way that this was an enterprise at all, orchestrating a criminal enterprise, trafficking. First, let's go through this, right? RICO conspiracy. Number one, attack the enterprise and the predicate acts. There was no enterprise. This wasn't the mafia. This was celebrity, some entourage, some posse. Notice I said posse, P-O-S-S-E. I know what you're thinking, you sick son of a. There was this element, as you know, of racketeering called relatedness. And relatedness shows that the alleged acts, the drugs and the sex and the money and the violence, there has to be, these were isolated. It wasn't a part of a coordinated plan. It was random. And then there's this notion of continuity, which is another element, a sub-element of racketeering. These incidents, all these things were episodic. They were chaotic. They were abusive, but they weren't organized. They weren't systemic. It was just a bunch of people having freak-offs with a bunch of women who could have left anytime. The other, nobody was employed in a criminal network. These were friends, girlfriends, staff. They were friends, all of them voluntarily present. Shaun, in this orbit or whatever, this thing of whatever. This was like Hugh Hefner or an orgy or the Stones. This was a party house. It's not a racketeering ring. And the second part, I love it. Sex trafficking by force, fraud, or coercion. Those are the parts. Force, fraud. These were adult relationships. Messy, toxic. I didn't hear anything about kids. I didn't hear anything about that. These were all adults. Manipulative, sick. He's a slave master, a taskmaster. But it wasn't trafficking. And then within that, there's this element in law that deals with the notion of agency and participation. These victims, as they say, they remained in relationships with them, took money, accepted gifts, traveled by choice. There wasn't a commercial sex arrangement, forced or brokered. It was intimate, it was sick, but it wasn't transactional in the legal sense. Force, fraud, or coercion. Did any of these people ever call the police? Were there threats or just an imbalance of power? Did the prosecution prove this beyond a reasonable doubt with the intent to exploit? I mean, there was, I don't want to call it seduction, but not sex trafficking. And the third one, the best part, is they were charged with violation of the Mann Act. This was transportation across state lines for the purposes of prostitution. Nobody was trafficked across state lines for prostitution. This was a private relationship, not a pimping operation. And you can also look at the definition of what prostitution is. Was sex offered for money, or was it part of a consensual, romantic, celebrity kind of lifestyle? Was it a freebie? Was it a goodie bag, so to speak? Come to the parties. You never know who you're going to hook up with. He didn't go there. You didn't buy tickets. Take that one, like the Chicken Ranch. What is this? The question is, did the victims choose to travel for the parties? Were they forced to do it? Or were they told to perform the pay? Or did they just do it? The prosecution had to prove that Sean Combs intended, and they got to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt, but intended to have someone cross state lines for illegal sex work. Good luck with that. So they could say, she traveled for love or sex or lust or fame, but not for sale. And the entire prosecution, this is the most thing, it was political. It's about feeding the media machine. Oh, they loved it. The government turned this sordid gossip column, TMZ stuff into a federal indictment. And so you got to tell the jury's got to understand. Don't let. And I think they're going to do it because remember they have the jury instructions right now. This was overreach. But understand something. I'm not saying he's a good guy. Everybody always has to say that. I'm not saying I like what he's doing. I don't like him. I don't know about his music. That has nothing to do with it. This is ridiculous for all of the women caught up in cartels and the Sinaloa cartels and the people who were there, forced labor trade, people who were picked up, whose passports were grabbed, thrown into the backs of tractor trailers, brought here en masse. It's demeaning to put this. So people are going to say, oh, so trafficking? You mean like Diddy Combs trafficking or real trafficking? Everybody out there, everybody who calls himself a patriot, every American who says that they stand for, the Constitution, should applaud when this guy's acquitted because he never should have been there. Look, if I had to charge him with murder, and there's no evidence of murder, do we say, well, but nobody still had baby oil? What if I charge him with arson? Remember that? Look at the predicate acts they had to dump. But you know this. These predicate acts are stupid. There has to be continuity. There has to be related. It can't be, okay, this guy stole a bike, and this was, okay, good. The Shaun Attwood show is racketeering. Why? Because you have 3 employees and 1 guy. No, it's got to be a part of an enterprise. This is your job. Not that you've got 3 dirtbags working for you who did stupid. No, that's not it. And you wonder, why in the name of God did this ever happen? Why? This is the same folks who brought you the Diddy case with Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein. And they still haven't released anything after they constantly come on the Trump administration and tell you, here we come. And say, would you shut up with that? Would you shut up? So listen, I hope every citizen of every believer in faith and law and all that should hope to God. I think he is disgusting. So what? Big deal. Think about the Gambino crime family, the Lucchese, the Sinaloa cartel, the Hell's Angels. Diddy and his what? It's an embarrassment, and he knows something's up too. And when they said, "No, we don't have any closing," that said it all. I thought that was brilliant. I don't have to tell you anything. Why would I put somebody on? Why? Leave the jury and say, normally I hope you don't mind, folks, that I didn't put on and as a lawyer, I'm telling you this, I hope you don't mind they didn't put in a closing argument. I don't know what I'm arguing. They didn't prove anything. I'm going to use their words, their witness, not me. Let's go through it. Well, we sure know a lot about Cassie. How many times did you see that one? Hey, would you like to see that video again? No, because whatever shock value that was intended by that, they ruined it by the 300th time that they showed it. Seriously, didn't you think oh, not that again? Okay, all right. Because people habituate to it. They habituate. How many times have you seen the Zapruder film? They showed it in a commercial now. It means nothing. There's no, we know this is the worst. Show habituate something. Have somebody become so disgusted by it and so tired of it. And this guy, they're already, the rumor is they're planning parties here in New York and they're gonna have barbecues. July 4th, here we come. By the way, July 4th, where we pay homage to your country. But people are, they are really planning this. I've been saying it's a dog since day one.
Don't they have to catch it, convict him of some lesser offense though, just so they can say that they got a conviction and not?
I don't know what a lesser. I don't know what a lesser
compensation.
Included. They got 3 charges. What's a lesser included of racketeering? This is federal. It's not like burglary, trespass. What's a racketeering, a violation of the Mann Act? What's a lesser included of because a lesser included, if I can't prove murder, then I prove second degree murder. If I can't prove second degree murder, I prove a manslaughter. And then I keep going successively lower until I didn't prove burglary, but he did enter, okay, trespass. And then, well, it wasn't battery, but it was assault. It wasn't aggravated battery, it was aggravated assault. So you have to have a lesser included. I don't know offhand what the lesser included of racketeering is. What?
So they've messed up by overcharging him then. Is that
bringing it. There is no see, that's the thing. Federal cases don't have murder. They've got violation of civil rights. Federal cases, they do mirror. When it comes to drugs, they mirror beautifully. But certain things that, for example, there is no such thing as SA or regular murder. It has to be something in connection with some grand federal exercise, violation of the Mann Act, of the Commerce Clause, of the, terrorism. And what's interesting too is when we had our own January 6th, we love to say here, especially if you listen to any kind of right-wing stuff, it's treason. It's not treason. You didn't give aid or comfort to a foreign government. And by the way, treason is the death penalty. Nobody knows what they're talking about. Believe it or not. And then there's some charges in the federal system that are so weird, like seditious conspiracy. If you and I decide to interrupt an official government action, let's say we decide to interrupt and interfere with, let's say, a session of Congress, that's seditious conspiracy. Just something as simple as that. So sometimes it's very easy to violate. Sometimes it's near impossible. But as you know, Americans don't read statutes. They just have an idea. They just see baby oil and whatever. And there's a lot of people thinking, let me tell you something now. There's going to be a lot of, put it this way, NDAs. I don't know if that's going to help you. Do you know, Shaun, that in our country, or in here, and I don't know about the UK, but of professional baseball, football, and basketball, there's about 2,500, let's say 3,000 professional athletes total. Every time they come into a town, it's a party. They give the heads up to the people at the hotel, the concierge. They're on the lookout. Like, hey, we got a couple of hot numbers here. Hey, you girls looking for the boys? Yeah, room 23 out there. Okay, Shaun, they're on their way up. This happens all the time. Is that racketeering? What? Is that violation of the Mann Act? Well, they came from New Jersey to New York. 20-minute trip. Still doesn't matter. You're crossing state lines. Do you really want to do this? Do you really want to go there? And while we're at it, I got one better. Let's go after the Academy Awards and the Grammys. Let me tell you something. A friend of mine said that the sickest thing there's two events that are the most debauched in terms of what goes on in the background. One is the Metropolitan, the fashion, where Vogue and all that stuff. What is that called? I can't speak. I've had a stroke. What is this called? The thing with that I went to at the Met. The Met Gala. Oh, Met Gala. That's number one. Oh, that is straight out of Eyes Wide Shut. And the Academy Awards. Because with the Academy Awards, for each person, you've got the second tier, but the most important, you've got studio heads, producers, associate producers, photographers. You've got agents. And they are each one just meeting to see who can be more weird than the next. So if you really want to do this, as Jack Reacher says, remember, you wanted this. Okay, let's go after what you do. Let's ask these girls, hey, ladies, anybody come here from out of town? Oh, you did? Write this down. Did you travel here? Yeah. Did somebody from I don't know, pick a star. Are you from the De Niro? Let's just pick a name. Did you come? Oh, okay. So De Niro. So you're charged with violation of the Mann Act because some girl that you wanted to hook up with, or Steven Spielberg. Again, I'm just throwing out names because they traveled. This is the most ridiculous thing. But if it's Diddy, and also nobody came to his aid. Isn't that something? Nobody. Same thing that happened with Alec Baldwin. Remember when Alec Baldwin was hit with that movie Rust? And and I thought it was terrible. I don't think he should have been charged for manslaughter because it was a movie. He didn't intend to do anything. It was reckless, but it wasn't criminal. What if that was Ron Howard? What if that was Scorsese? What if that was Clint Eastwood? They would have come out they would have had full page ads and everything saying, "You can't do that. You're gonna ruin movies. Movies are by nature. Look at Tom Cruise risking his life all the time." And not one person raised a finger, a word for Alec Baldwin. They don't like him. Same thing with Diddy. That's the message. Nobody came forward and said, "Now wait a minute." No aging rocker. Nobody to come forward and say, somebody, Mick Jagger, that says, "Do you know what this is? Do you know?" To have somebody. What if I said, my name is so-and-so. My name is Shaun Attwood, and I'm a security guard for whatever. And you know why these guys hire security guard? To keep women away from them. You don't know what it's like. They come at you. I've never heard of anybody swarming traffickers, wanting to be trafficked, paying, giving coyotes, an extra buck. Can you work something out? I want to work the tomato fields and whatever it is. It doesn't work like that. People don't have any idea of how they live in these little pathetic little towns where they think that Jeff Bezos is a star, and they don't have any idea of the level of consensual debauchery that's going on. Whether that's against your morals is up to you. But that's not the case here. This was a travesty. Absolutely a travesty.
So we've got almost 1,000 people watching live. If you've not subscribed to Lionel's channel yet, the link is in the live chat. And if you're watching on replay, it's in the description box. And what Lionel is saying here, folks, lest there is a misinterpretation, he believes that Diddy was overcharged. You can't, the proof of the continuous criminal enterprise is not going to be substantiated, hasn't been substantiated, right. And Diddy's going to walk. He's not saying that means Diddy's completely innocent and he's a wonderful, saintly character. He's just saying that there's been a bad legal strategy.
Can I ask you a question?
And it's backfiring.
Can I ask you a damn question? Didn't I just say that? What am I, stupid? Did they not
understand but I gotta repeat it.
You see, what he said was, you may not have got that because y'all used to that. They understand what the hell I just said. By the way, what's also, can we switch a little bit of something which I find? I don't know if you want to go into this area, but here we go. Be careful. I love these lists. You can't say this. You can't say that. You can't. The following code words are for mummification. We call it L7. What? Anyway, something happened regarding the world right now and our world in terms of Israel, Iran, AIPAC. It has just. But if you don't want to go there, I don't understand it because
I do want to go there because I'm fascinated by this, and I'm listening to McGregor, Judge Napolitano, Scott Ritter all day long. I'm listening to these guys. I'm mesmerized.
But here's the best one. This is the part that I can't believe it. The people that I just despise. Joy Reid. Joy Reid couldn't tell me my name, and I disagree with it. That's not my name, but she gave a rendition of the history of Iran. I'm thinking, that was perfect. Greta Thunberg agrees with Tucker Carlson, agrees with Marjorie Taylor Greene, agrees with it. Wait a minute. What? Junk Yogurt from the Young Turds and that Anna Emphysema, whatever, who screamed. She's got to tone it down. I can't stand these people. They're 100% correct. Now,
there's people who want World War III and people who don't want World War III.
But it's a very simple thing. They're over here in this group. They're saying you can't do this to. First of all, you can't do this to Gaza. You can't do this. You can't do these to these people. Simple as that. I go, what are you talking about, you anti-Semite? That lasted an hour. They're running. Anyway, so it gets better. So first of all, let's talk about the people that I'm agreeing with. In this group. Who has been superior? Napolitano, McGregor, Jeffrey Sachs, Alistair Crook, Scott Ritter. Who else? I'm going down the list.
Norman Finkelstein.
Well, if you can stay awake during him. The problem that we have in this. Put it this way.
Pretty well researched, though.
Well, he's been around for a long time, and he was. I mean, if you can, but he's correct. But he's just so difficult to listen. Put it this way: if Norman Finkelstein is a Steinstein, I don't know. But if he described the sex act to kids, we could reverse teen pregnancy. Nobody would want to do it. This man couldn't lure me out of a burning building. I mean, I have to hit that 1 + 2 + 3. But I've never had to speed up anything. I don't think anybody's had to speed up my speech. But with him, it's like speed it up. It is sped up. That's 3 times. This is. But Katie Halpern,
Aaron Mate, we had him on.
Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, brilliant. These people now put them on. They're into this room, and if I put them in, I say, "What are you doing there?" I'm a right wing. Joy Reid, what are you doing here? I agree with you. You agree with me? Greta Thunberg, meet Steve Bannon. We're in this room full of people who don't agree with anything. This is universal. Theo Vaughn. Theo Vaughn is now the William F. Buckley of our time, and he asks the best questions. Because they're saying, hang on a minute, can you tell me that is Israel the only country that can lobby? Well, Theo, as a matter of fact, yeah, that don't seem right. Well, you're absolutely right, and he asks questions that seemingly sound like but he's 100% correct. Candace Owens, she better watch it because she's going over the top. Oh.
They're going to come for her, I think. They're going to come for her.
You know why? Because she just gets upset. She and that Anna, what's her name? They start screaming and yelling. It's like Candace thinks like she's the only one who understands it. I'm not saying she's not right, but she's the only one who's offended by this. Nobody really gets it. Like she's so empathic, she gets it. But aside from that, your buddy, that twit, Piers Morgan, even he gets it all of a sudden. It only took him forever to see him and George Galloway. George Galloway is like, is he all right? Is George okay? He's just because he's been consistent, but they went at it. And I swear to God, the other day, Galloway, a while back, and Pierce were agreeing. I think Galloway just hates his guts. He just wanted to yell at him. But even Piers Morgan is coming around. So put it to you this way. Now, let me jump to this. You're going to love this one. In New York, the largest city still smaller than Tehran. I think Tehran's 10 million. We're like 8.5 million. We have a mayor's race. We had primaries. We had the Democrats, independents. They have all these guys. A guy named Zoran Mamdani. Zoran. This is something from Star Trek. Zoran. I call him Zoran the Moron. Okay? This is a guy that nobody likes. Now, follow me on this. Nobody. He wants to do things that nobody can possibly do. And he smiles. And I want to give free bus fare. You can't do free bus fare. What are you talking about? And I want to have special supermarkets and for people to get free food. You can't do that. I can say it. And I want to have free puppy dogs and unicorns. Anyway, but let me tell you what they did. They can't stand this guy. I thought this was great. He's done. He's finished. People that I know who are as left. Put it this way. Che Guevara would slap him. Nobody wants this guy. He's crazy. But, here's the but. I smell a butt. I smell a butt. The other night they had a debate. And they asked the question, where is the first place you would visit if you were elected? I thought, what kind of stupid question is, wait a minute, why would the mayor of New York go visit? How about what's the first thing you would do? What's number one on your priority? Everybody said, including our old governor, Andrew Cuomo, who is ghoulish, who's Salazzo the Turk. He looks like just some kind of, and he says, the first thing I would do, he has this, nobody can do his accent. It's not, I don't know what it is. It's not Queens. It's not New York. I don't know what planet it's from. But he said, I would go to Israel. What? And the next woman said, I'd go to the Holy Land. All these people are saying the first thing they would do. So they get to Zoran the Moron, and he says, I'm staying here. I'm the mayor of New York. What the hell am I going to Israel for? And they said, yeah. So wait a minute. So now they're saying, I love this guy. 5 minutes before you hated him. Yeah, but he was the only one who said, I'm not going to go to Israel, which is a great question. Why would you go to Israel? And then, excuse me, I just had that coughing.
I've got friends in Cyprus right now, and they said that it's overrun with Israelis leaving Israel.
Well, hang on a second. One thing. Oh, well, but because this is very complicated. The thing which is the most, which we get to the bottom of this, he said, what would you do if Bibi Netanyahu, oh, listen to this, came to New York? He said, I'd arrest him. You what? He says, well, I don't think we're going to do it because we're not a signatory to the ICC, the ICJ. We're not really a part of the World Criminal Court. I don't know what jurisdiction. He has to arrest him. But the point is, he was like on his way down. And then a lot of people said, wait a minute. Because what happened is, and this is the part that I find interesting. I want everyone listening right now, to the tens of millions who will ultimately hear this, ask yourself, have you ever noticed in our culture when all of a sudden something loses its panache, when all of a sudden disco died, or bell bottoms died, or all of a sudden, hey, this is great, grunge, and then gone, punk, the Johnny Lionel, punk, gone, it just died, and nobody announced it. We don't know when it died. But it's like all of a sudden, we're done with that. We're done with that. It's over with. We're done. Disco, vaudeville, whatever. This, for the longest time, people said, well, the Israel lobby, yeah. Well, AIPAC, yeah. Okay, well, come on, they got a right to defend themselves. People would say, but I'm not talking about that. It doesn't matter. That's my answer. Just go away. The story doesn't matter. That's the way it's. Shaun, you know how these people are. Middle East, they're just, you're not going to stop this. Thousands, I love when they say thousands of years. There hasn't been thousands because we make this stuff up. We just make up history. Well, all of a sudden, okay, October the 7th came. Well, that was it. A lot of the Bibi Netanyahu, because he's hanging on by a thread in his own country because of risking, because the idea that, they love him. I don't know where you've been. They don't love him. Especially now, people are saying, this is worse than ever. So anyway, this happened. October 7th, Gaza, terrible. And then something like at the very last minute, all of a sudden, here in our country, they said, AIPAC. Boop. A little bit of Tucker. Boop. A little bit of Candace. Now, they've been saying this forever, but all of a sudden it got through. It's like you're at a party and you can say, you hear a baby crying? Yeah, man. And then you're aware of it, but it's been crying the whole time. You just haven't noticed it. All of a sudden, boop, Tucker, boop, Napolitano, boop. And people who are hardcore patriots, but who are of diverse, Greta freaking Thunberg agrees with McGregor. What is going on here? Who is it that wants this? Who is saying, I want us to... who was it? Did you see Tucker Carlson with Ted Cruz?
Yep, and Bannon, yep.
Well, Bannon, but Ted Cruz. Tucker was like, do you know how many people there are in Iran? Well, I don't really know. It was 92 million. Do you know anything about it? I don't know anything about him. He said, do you get money from AIPAC? Well, I don't know. What? Of course you do. It's just like, Ted, did you not think about this? You think somebody who said, come here, Ted, you're a smart guy, Harvard Law School, brilliant. You think somebody would say, you're going to sit your ass down here, and I'm going to be Tucker, and I'm going to throw some stuff at you. All right, I'm going to bring up AIPAC, and I want you to be able to, just like a kata, just like when you do, as being a martial arts killer, there are some things you want to do out of muscle memory. You just remember how to do this. Oh, I know how to do that. I know how to do this one. Right, but I got it. You just remember it. He had no preparation, no planning. It's like he never thought of the subject before because everybody's been kissing his ass for so long because he knew that any talk about Israel or whatever was radioactive. Now, this is the disclaimer. The people of Israel, I don't know what they're thinking. I've been there twice. I liked it. I like these people. Hell, half of them are Arabs. They're all over the place. Do you know that? Do you know? Remember Seals and Crofts, the Baha'i? Remember the Baha'i faith about Baha'u'llah and all this stuff? I never heard these names, but not their Vatican, but in Haifa is the Baha'i, these gardens, and everybody's there. The Christians and the Coptics and the Jews and everybody. This is a holy land. The people who live there are thinking, don't look at me. I'm just not my. So, and then we get into these words. You know, at least once a year, I have somebody tell me, okay, for the millionth time, here's the difference. Britain, Great Britain, British Isles, the UK. I got it straight. Now, I'm not, I gotta have to stop it. Let me get this right. because they're kind of the same, but not really, but sort of maybe. Okay, Israel, Zionism, Judaism, Palestine, Islam. These words are not really, and I don't know if anybody understands this, but to have a religion associated with a country. It's not, somebody said, we want Israel to be to the Jew what Japan is to the Japanese. I don't understand how that works. And for the first time, Shaun, people are questioning, how did we do that? It's the strangest. It's some. I suggest you don't even have to go there. I'm not going to talk about Zionism, Herzl. I'm not going to even discuss that. Whatever you think is fine. But Shaun, for the first time, people are talking about this. They never talked about it. It's like it's been there, and all of a sudden, people said, hey, methylene blue. This is great, methylene blue. I'm taking turmeric. Yeah. Where it's been the whole thing. Yeah, no, I'm doing.
I'm going to show you a clip, and I'm going to get your thoughts on it. Hold on a second. So, folks, anyone who's telling you Iran's got nuclear weapons,
oh yeah,
imminent, absolute BS sideshow. Listen to this, folks. They've been telling us these lies for decades.
You've probably heard this line before.
Iran has never given up its quest for nuclear weapons and the missiles to deliver them.
That's because Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has been saying this for more than 30 years.
What is this?
Iran is close to having
Nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons. Atomic bombs.
In 1992, as a member of parliament, Netanyahu addresses the Knesset. He says, within 3 to 5 years, we can assume that Iran will become autonomous in its ability to develop and produce a nuclear bomb. 3 years later, in his book Fighting Terrorism, he repeats the same time frame, 3 to 5 years.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Fast forward to 2002. Netanyahu testifies before a U.S. congressional committee actively calling for the invasion of Iraq.
Are there any other nations that you would recommend that the United States launch preemptive attacks upon at this point?
The two nations that are competing with each other, who will be the first to achieve nuclear weapons, is Iraq and Iran.
The invasion happens months later. No weapons of mass destruction are found in Iraq. This is a fragment of a 2009 U.S. State Department cable released by WikiLeaks. Netanyahu tells members of Congress that Iran is 1 or 2 years away from being capable of developing nuclear weapons.
They're online.
It's 2012, and Netanyahu is holding up his infamous cartoon bomb at the UN General Assembly.
By next spring, at most, by next summer,
it's like Roadrunner.
Current enrichment rates, they will have finished the medium enrichment.
And people are still buying into this BS. They're debating it all over the mainstream media. How stupid do they think we are, Lionel?
Well, but I'm saying, but we get. Have you seen? What is his name? The spokesman? Oh, please, not Mandami. Mourani. He's the spokesperson. You see him everywhere from Iran. He is from University of Tehran. He teaches.
Morandi. Yeah.
Brilliant. Speaks better English than you do. Well, that's what are you gonna do? But there's this calm, and there's this idea
even when his building was getting bombed, and he stayed on the air with Piers Morgan
Yeah.
to do the interview.
I would be
And Piers was just rude to him, wouldn't let him speak.
I know. All of a sudden, we go. And he says, "Excuse me, I'm filling. You all can leave. No, I'm here. You know the chandeliers. I'm not trying to make a joke out of this, but the point is, they've been through this, but all I'm saying is people are saying they're finally getting to the point where they're saying enough with this stuff, enough. And when the president said, okay, Tehran, you better get out, it's his imminent. Said, what are you doing? This is 10 million people that were crushing each other, trying to get out. It's like if somebody told New York, they're bigger than New York, told us get out. Go where? Where am I going? What are you doing? And here's the best part. Here's the best part. Can I say BS? Can I spell it out? Caca de toro, mierda, okay, whatever you want to call it. That's just what it is. Bovine excreta. When I hear this is the part that kills me. Remember, I don't care who you are. BS is BS. Whoever's lying to me, I don't care. You're lying to me. Now, I'm not going to leave you. I'm not going to hand it. I'm not going to move anywhere. But I'm telling you, when our country, anybody says it, whether it's about Epstein or this, here's the best part. The other day they said, Pete Hegseth, it's been a complete and total devastation. Everything known from Nadan's photo and Isfahan completely annihilated. Nothing but rubble, atomized, nothing. The detritus, the nuclear, the bomb shattered shards of nothingness, vacuous vacuity. They emptied the ones, and they're saying, no, they're here. Who was it? Isfahan and Nadan. No, the Israel already blew that. There's nothing there. You dropped it on it. You bombed a hole. Don't give me that rubbish. Don't you understand? And so what did they do? They showed, to prove it, they showed a picture of like an explosion or a graphic. Remember when you were a kid? I mean,
Like that one.
No, not that one. No, that's the other, the cartoon bomb. No, it's another one. This was either photo or whatever. I'm trying to get these names. The main site with an explosion, and they're saying, no, we moved it. You've been telling us for the past how many years? They're not there. It's not there. Yes, it is. No, it's not. And they're arguing. And then when somebody said, they had a woman who was a Fox News colleague who used to work with Pete Hegseth, and they were at the Pentagon or whatever. And a woman asked President Trump, President Trump, isn't it true that the actual nuclear sites were actually either destroyed or had already been moved? And he says, Pete, come here. When are you going to hear, Pete? Come here, Pete. And Pete says, how dare you? This man, it's like, that's not an answer. What do you mean, how dare you? This is what we've become. This is and again, meanwhile, Tehran saying, then you hear people like, you hear the military people like Ritter and McGregor, who they say, well, you see, you got to understand this. You see, for every one of those bombs that they, let's say that Iran shoots over, they've got two. They have to fight an Iron Dome. Oh, Iron Dome. I don't know what that thing was. We're finding out two things. And remember, I am not taking glee. I don't care if this is Tel Aviv or France or Argentina. Doesn't matter to me. The facts are the facts are the facts are the facts. It just happens to be this country right now. We have been told for years, don't you understand? This Mossad. This is intelligence. An intelligence network is so deep. They know what you're thinking. They're in your soul. They read minds. They're multi-dimensional. October the 7th. What was that? They were planning this for years. They set up, remember that? Makeshift little towns. And they came in on what do you call them? Those propeller things. I mean, wait a minute, what? And then you said, oh, what about that? And you go, don't you understand? That was on purpose. That was a purpose to throw you off. That was a lie hop, not a my hop. Let's let it happen on purpose versus to make it happen on purpose. Wait a minute. Why would you let this happen? Don't you understand? It was a false flag because none of this could happen. Okay, fine. So that's Mossad. Then here's the best part. Don't you understand how incredibly smart these people are? There's the beepers. What? The beepers. They had beepers that went off. They used beeper technology. Imagine you're in a plane next to your kid and this beeper goes off. That was it. It was the beepers. And they gave out gold beepers as a they go when they visit you here. Here's a beeper. This was taken off of the dead body. And I think, wait a minute, hold it. This is insanity. What about this? What about Iron Dome? Well, so anyway, so
Golden, which brings us back to Golden Dome and Elon Musk and the big bill.
That's another thing too. I don't know where he's. I can't figure out Elon because tomorrow they'll be friends again. Tomorrow they'll be. Remember when Elon went? Listen, now let me just say something. And I don't have any reason, but I've always heard that Elon might be hitting the stuff, whatever that is, that special K or whatever the hell it is. I don't know. But all I know is,
Adderall, more likely.
Well, whatever it was. All I know is that he's got his kid. By the way, can you imagine if I took Adderall? Me, I would explode. I would just go. I can't take this. This is coffee. But he had that kid X. I don't even know if that's his kid. How many kids does he have? 50, 60? He has villages. He's running around. He's got the kid. I thought, what was that? He brings Tesla to the White House. That was crazy. And people were like that. Okay.
Is the Golden Dome one big boondoggle and Elon's in on it?
I don't know what to believe. First of all, don't use the word dome. That's a bad thing. But let me just go back to what we're saying. Right now, we are having 2 weeks. This would be, whenever they say ceasefire, that's regrouping. The bottom line is simply this. Trump is going to say, that's enough. I've got midterm elections coming up in 26. I don't have time for this. I don't have time. America has lost whatever appetite, whatever interest it has in this. It's gone. We went through this thing where we had people who were removed from universities because they were called anti-Semitic, when in fact they just dared to say something against Israel. And there are anti-Semites without a doubt. But I hate to break it to you, that's not against the law. There are racist and anti-Semites. There are people who hate the Brits. Believe it or not, people who hate our country. And we don't get rid of people because you merely hate somebody. Oh, what about this? We must attack Iran. Don't you understand? They've said for years, death to America. Who said that? They have. Who are they? The people. We talk a lot of stuff. We say stuff too. What if somebody attacked us because we said, the hell with the...
I keep hearing that again, over and over. Death to America. Who are they saying in Iran said that? Who's the original person who said that?
I don't know. And so what? This may be even more of so what? You said that.
You can get any fanatic in any country to say anything about any other country.
And don't be surprised. Oh, now the lone wolf. We know the sleeper cells. We have Iranian sleeper cells. Have you heard this one? We have Iranian.
Oh yeah, false flag.
What are you writing a letter now, dear? Memo to self.
I'm googling. So on the 21st of March, 2015, Khomeini shouted the phrase "Death to America" while addressing a public gathering in Iran during the holiday of the Persian New Year. And
well, that's it.
So he wasn't shouting death to China. He wasn't shouting death to Russia, death to Egypt. I'm sure there was some kind of incident that triggered this. And now they're saying it's not like every Iranian we meet on the streets. They just try and unalive us on the spot because they're all programmed to believe this.
But here's what I'm saying. You're right. And if I said to you, hey, Shaun, do you know what that guy said? He said death to you in your show. Now, don't shoot him. Don't stab him. But I think we should address this. But don't shoot. So I'm not saying don't react to it. Don't get upset. Don't say something in kind. But to bomb them? And what do you think is going to happen? We don't have who's going to do it? We're going to do it. Israel doesn't have an army. We're the army. What are you people talking about? You want to bomb them? They've got between 200,000 and 400,000 of these missiles. And they just sent them. Did you see when they just unloaded? And what the Iranians do is they fire the missiles to see where you are, see how long it takes, where's your response. Oh, you're there. Okay, I got it. I don't know anything about it. By the way, everybody that you know,
even Wiki says the death to America, the original when he originally shouted it, was a response to U.S. foreign policy, and it implied death to the U.S. Politicians' arrogance.
I don't care if he literally meant death to everybody in the 300 and whatever million people. I don't care. We're not going to bomb because what about Putin, who says, if you need us, Pakistan, you need anybody? You need anything? I got it. Why didn't you say so? You need something? What do you need? Now, that's not going to happen. But the point is, we've also taken, how many times have you heard this? Don't you understand that Iran is prime for revolution? Not anymore. They've never been more. We brought them together.
The Iranians were dancing in the streets, Lionel, saying, please change our regime. Thanks for bombing us. Thank you for murdering my neighbors. Regime, we just love being bombed and regime change.
But now they're saying, let me also tell you something. Speaking of dancing in the street, there was a candlelight vigil in Tehran on 9/11. We had the whole world behind us too. Even Putin said, listen, if you need any help, I know where the Caucasus is. I know where these bastards are. So, but the idea is that we just, now they love this guy because what happens is what happens when somebody basically targets your country. The enemy, my enemy is my friend. What are we doing? But all I'm saying is I have never seen put it this way, take all the time in the world. Who is the strongest advocate of our continued 100%, I don't want to say support of Israel because we always support a country, but I'm talking about military support and this continuous aid either through AIPAC or whatever. Who is it? Ben Shapiro, Mark Levin. This is Fox News. Who else? Some people, Cotton and Cruz, and we got these people. But even they're going to be saying, who? Where is this? Where is this? Do it. I mean, this unquestioning fealty. I don't know where it is. Oh, Lindsey Graham. That's right. Lindsey Graham. Oh, Lindsey Graham is Gomer Pyle. Lindsey. Oh, Shazam, Jordan Carter. Shazam. There's Lindsey Carter, a grandmother. Can you imagine if they come out and say, who is this man? And I'd say, Lindsey, I don't want to tell you your business, buddy, and I don't know anything about it, but they don't cotton to people who are Latin and loafers over there on this thing. They don't like that over there. Have you seen what they do to people? I'm just saying, buddy. I'm just saying, you might want to, I would tone down, because you don't have to speak English to know that you may be on the other team. You know what I mean? Not that there's anything wrong with it now, buddy, but just understand how these people are. They're funny about that. They do not cotton to that. They don't like that. So this is bizarre. Like I said, and I'm going to leave you as we wrap this up. It's been so wonderful. Greta Thunberg and Steve Bannon agree with each other. I'm agreeing with Joy Reid. Oh, my God. Everybody, the room, they brought up. This is destroyed. Candace Owens is like, you're over here, Candace. This is meet Joy Reid. Hi, how are you? Greta Thunberg. Have you met Steve Bannon? Steve, yeah, okay. There are people. Imagine the Napolitano crowd. This is Jeffrey Sachs. We're in this room. This big. It's like but yet in New York, I've got this Zoran the moron, this guy who's going to be the mayor. Whatever it takes to get rid of him, I'm telling people, do you hear what he said about Israel? Got to stop this. See what he said about Bibi? I'm on that side now. Anything I can, because I'm an opportunist. I want to get what I think is best for my country. I will align myself, which is what politics is all about. But it's bizarre. And where does he think this is going? How can President Trump, who is so politically smart, I'm saying, he should have said, I made a deal with you. AIPAC, here's a check. I signed it. Thank you. I'm done. Bibi, have a nice day. I did it. That's it. We're moving on. I can't politically do this anymore. The country, one more time, Greta Thunberg and Steve Bannon are aligned. That's it. There's no daylight.
Let me summarize then, folks. So Lionel is saying Diddy is going to walk. He's saying that Trump and Elon will be bromancing again in no time.
Absolutely.
And what are you saying about Iran, Israel? I think it's all going to ignite again. They're going to start attacking each other.
No. Trump's going to say, Trump does these things. He can, in mid-sentence, he can say, I'm going to bomb Iran, but I'm not. What? He will say tomorrow, we've given it time. They're good people. And they have the chance to and Bibi's going to do this. What? He doesn't care. He'll change his mind like that. You know what? I think you need more time. I don't want to destroy your country.
But don't you think Bibi will just start attacking them or do something to provoke?
He hasn't have anything to attack with. You see, you're into martial arts. It's you. Imagine I hate to say it, prosthetic arms, and somebody's got to activate my prosthetic arms to hit you, and I'm saying, turn it on. And I don't have any arms. My batteries are hit him. We're like the prosthetic arm. We're the Luca Brasi's. We're the enforcer. Wasn't this fun?
Always a great delight, my friend. Please subscribe to Lionel's channel. There it is in the live chat. Is there anything you'd like to say? What can the viewers look forward to in the coming days on your channel, Lionel?
Oh, I'm doing that. We're going to talk about this. Here in New York, I'm going to talk about today we had the gay parade, which is nothing but an exercise in, listen, you and I know, I don't care. We got more gay friends than you can imagine. This is some kind of eyes wide shut, evil, satanic dance of death. I don't know what this is. I'm serious. And I've got friends of mine who said, I've never cross-dressed in my life. This is gay? Who are these people? It's like some John Waters dystopian, these horrible figures. What is this? And they wonder. Anyway, so we'll talk about that.
All right, my friend.
All right, buddy.
Close the show. Take care. Cheers. Bye-bye. What a blast. It's good to put some humor on these serious subjects. So, coming up tomorrow, we have got former Reform UK Director of Communications, Gwen Towler, talking about how Keir Starmer's destroyed the UK and whether civil war is coming. That's 2 p.m. UK time. We've got an early one, folks. It's going to be the hottest June ever in the history of temperatures, recorded temperatures tomorrow. It's going to be crazy. And then on is that the 30th as well? Looks like we've got another one at 6. Snatch from Hell, Nathan Reynolds. So we've got 2 tomorrow on the hottest day. And then on the 1st, we've got World War III possibilities with Ryan Macbeth at 2 p.m. as well. So that's the lineup, folks. Thanks for joining in. Hope you got to see Kevin Annette with us last night and Zachary King, Ex-Satanist Part 2 the night before. If you didn't, look out for those in the back catalogue and hope to see some of you.